Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Today is June 22nd. Harper gets a cycle now. Schwarber's on fire. The Pirates can't win with Skenes? Let's talk about it. Hello, everybody. My name is Steven. This is the middle of the order. How are we doing today, ladies and gentlemen? We are a few days away from the halfway point of the season. We're up to 76, 77 games or so. It's been incredible. The baseball season is in full swing here. We're getting closer and closer to the All-Star break, and that means the trade deadline is just a short bit away, and that will really tell us which teams are trying to contend, which teams are trying to pretend, and of course, which teams are already super good and which teams are already super bad. So all of that will be filled out in the next, month and change, 5-6 weeks. So that's what we're waiting for there. But for today's episode, as per usual, let's get it going and start with our series recap. Leading us off, we have the Reds and the Yankees. Jazz Chisholm and Ben Rice both go deep as the Yankees open it up with a 5-0 win. Spencer Steer hits a 3-run homer in the second game. Sal Stewart drives in 6 RBIs with 2 doubles and a sac fly, 10-2 Reds. And then Tyler Stevenson, a 3-run homer, his 6th of the season, leads the Reds to a 4-1 victory and the series over the Yankees. Nationals and Rays, CJ Abrams, Luis Garcia Jr. both hit solo shot home runs, but that's erased by a 3-run homer from Jonathan Aranda. Johnny DeLuca homers in this one as well. 5-2 Rays. The Nats come back though. CJ Abrams, Dylan Cruz both going deep in a 4-3 Nats win. And then CJ Abrams homers in all 3 games of the series, but down by 1, the Rays get a go-ahead 2-run home run from Johnny DeLuca. His 2nd of the series flips the script in the 7th. The Rays take the series win 4-3, beating the Nationals. Cardinals and Royals, Bobby Witt, Jack Caglione, Salvador Perez, all homer for Kansas City. The Royals add 6 in the 2nd. It's 14-6 Kansas City. They blow open Game 1. In Game 2, the Royals take the lead with 4 runs in the 4th. Jack homers again. Caglione 6-5 Royals. But in the last game, we go crazy. J.J. Weatherholt hit a leadoff home run for this game, which led to a 5-run first inning for the Cardinals, but that was only the tip of the iceberg. J.J. Weatherholt homers again in this one. The Cardinals score 9 runs in the first 2 innings. Jack Caglione, he would homer in this game not only once but twice, homering in all 3 games of the series, getting a total of 4 home runs. This one was back and forth with plenty of bombs. It ends up going 12-10 Cardinals as they avoid the sweep. White Sox and Tigers now. Junior Perez hits his first career MLB home run. Matt Vierling, a 2-run shot for the Tigers, helps them to a 4-3 victory. Dylan Dingler hits his 17th homer on the year to add more insurance for the Tigers as they take a 4-1 victory. And in the last game, Luis Angel Acuna gets his first home run of the season and his first with the White Sox. Dylan Dingler homers to make it a 1-run game. Then in the 9th, he ties it with an RBI single. He is saving the Tigers right now. We go to extras, and it's Matt Vierling, that's the hero. A walk-off RBI bloop single. The Tigers sweep the White Sox with a 5-4 victory. Guardians and Astros now. Jeremy Pena, a 2-homer game. Jose Altuve goes deep. It's 9-3 Houston. In Game 2, Travis Bazzana goes bananas. 4 for 4, 2 homers, 5 RBIs. Cal Manzardo picks up a homer as well, driving in the other 3 Guardians RBIs. They take an 8-1 victory. And in the rematch, it's Yordan Alvarez blasting his 25th homer of the season. 2-1 Houston. They take this series. Padres and Rangers. Ty France, it's a first-inning grand slam to finish off a 5-run first for the Padres. The Rangers respond by scoring 6 runs in the first. We had 11 runs in the first inning alone. Ty France homers again to tie it, but the Rangers would seal it with Wyatt Langford hitting his homer in the 8th inning. 9-7 Texas taking the opener. In Game 2, it's a 3-3 tie as we go into extras. Manny Machado connects for a 3-run home run to put the pressure on Texas. They only score 1 run in the inning. Padres hold on 6-4 the final. And in the last game, Wyatt Langford, he hits a 3-run homer, his second of the series and 6th on the year. Texas wins it 4-3. Angels and A's now. Shea Langoliers and Tyler Soderstrom both homer in a 5-0 A's win. In Game 2, we had a total of 9 home runs in the game. A 7-run inning for the Angels. A 7-run comeback for the A's as they tie it in the 9th on a 2-run home run from Jonah Heim to send it to extras, where the A's win it on a walk-off walk. All that drama, and it ends on a walk-off walk, but the A's win it 12-11. In Game 3, Angels score 4 in the 6th. Denzer Guzman homers again in the series. It's a 7-0 Angels victory. And in the last game, Denzer Guzman homers for a 3rd straight game. This game, he had it in the 8th inning to tie it up. Zach Neto then hits a go-ahead home run in the 9th. The Angels come back from down 3. They end up splitting the 4-game set 2 apiece. They win it 9-7. Red Sox and Mariners now. The Red Sox scored 4 runs in the 7th to put this one away, beating the Mariners 6-2. Then in Game 2, Wilyer Abreu hits a go-ahead home run, his 9th on the year. The Red Sox add from there. It's 5-1. And in the last game, Dominic Canzone homers for his 12th of the year to help the Mariners avoid the sweep to the Red Sox. They take a 3-1 victory and get that win. Giants and Marlins now. Owen Casey goes deep, picks up 3 RBIs in the game. Marlins win it 4-3. They then score 4 runs in the 4th in Game 2, capped off by a Heriberto Hernandez home run, leading them to a 6-3 victory. Then in the last game, Kyle Stowers, his 8th home run of the season, helps the Marlins, but the Giants can't find the offense to pick up Logan Webb, who goes 8 innings, only allowing 2 runs. The only problem is the Giants only scored 1. Marlins win it 2-1 and sweep San Francisco. Mets and Phillies now. Juan Soto, a 2-homer game gets him to 17 big flies on the year and helping the Mets take the opener 6-4. But here come the Phillies. Bryce Harper homers to start as he would end up picking up a double, a single, and a triple, all in the game. A cycle for Bryce Harper. Meanwhile, Kyle Schwarber homers in the 3rd. The Phillies bat around to let Schwarber homer again in the same inning. They score 8 runs in the inning, and for good measure, Kyle Schwarber later in the game homers. A 3-homer game for Kyle Schwarber, a 15-3 Phillies victory. And in their match, Schwarber and Harper, they both homer again. Schwarber 1 away from 30 now with 29 on the year. 6-2 Phillies as they take 2 of 3 from the Mets. Brewers and Braves now. Mike Yastrzemski homers in the 7th inning. That's the difference in the opener, a 3-2 Braves victory. Then in Game 2, Ozzie Albies starts the scoring with a home run. He ends the scoring with a home run as he hits a 2-run walk-off shot. Albies a 2-homer game as the Braves come back for a 4-3 victory. And in the last game, William Contreras homers to cap off an 8-run second for the Brew Crew. It's Milwaukee that avoids the sweep with a 9-4 victory. Blue Jays and Cubs now. The Cubs score 7 runs in the 1st, including a grand slam from Carson Kelly. They go on to add 4 in the 6th and 5 in the 7th. A major blowout win in a 16-2 Cubs victory. In Game 2, Matt Shaw, a 3-run home run. Pete Crow-Armstrong, a 2-run shot. Blue Jays down 5 but score 8 unanswered. Dalton Varsho, a 3-run homer in his first game back off of the IL. And a go-ahead 3-run home run from Kazuma Okamoto. The Blue Jays end up with an 8-6 victory, and it would stay a 1-1 series as the rain on Sunday moves the game to August 6th in the future. Pirates and Rockies. TJ Rumfield, his 11th home run of the season, part of a 4-3 Colorado victory. Then in Game 2, Spencer Horwitz hits a leadoff home run, but the Rockies respond with an inside-the-park leadoff home run from Jake McCarthy. The Rockies take the lead in the 3rd, and they hold the scoring from there, 2-1 Rockies. And in the last game, Nick Gonzalez goes deep, Brian Reynolds goes deep. It's an 8-6 Pirates win to avoid the sweep. Twins and D-backs now. Victor Caratini, Josh Bell, and Royce Lewis all go deep for the Twins. Ketel Marte homers for the D-backs, who stay in this one. The Diamondbacks up by 1. Corbin Carroll adds a bases-clearing 3-run triple. 9-5 D-backs the final. In Game 2, the Twins scored 10 runs in the 5th, including a Byron Buxton grand slam, his 24th homer of the season, part of a 16-8 Twins victory. And in the last game, the Twins score 3 in the 7th to take the lead after a Ketel Marte 2-run double in the 2nd. Twins go on to hold it, win it 4-2, and take the series. And lastly, we have the O's and the Dodgers. Gunnar Henderson, Pete Alonso go back-to-back in the 6th to tie this game up. Dodgers now down by 2 in the 9th. Mookie homers to make it a 1-run game. Then Dalton Rushing is your hero as he drives in a 2-run walk-off single with the help from a throwing error by Tyler O'Neill. The Dodgers score 3 in the 9th to come back and beat Baltimore 6-5. In Game 2, Trevor Rogers shoves, giving up only 1 hit in 7 innings. However, the Dodgers scored 2 in the 9th to make it a 1-run game. However, this time the Oilers hold on to win it 3-2 the final. And for the rematch, Baltimore did not want another 9th inning chase down from LA, so they decided to blow this game open. They scored in 6 of the 9 innings. They pick up home runs from Taylor Ward, Colton Cowser, Pete Alonso, and Blaze Alexander. Baltimore wins it 12-1. They take 2 of 3 from the Dodgers, and that's your series recap. All right, now time for the games of the weekend. Yes, it's games because there was 2 standout games here, including 40-plus runs scored between these 4 teams. We're starting with the Angels and the Athletics for Game 2 on Friday of this series, and it starts in the bottom of the 2nd, where Lawrence Butler connects for his 5th homer of the season. A solo shot gets the scoring started. Bottom 3, Shea Langeliers picks up an RBI double, followed by Jacob Wilson picking up an RBI double. Carlos Cortez grounds out to score a 4th run of the game, a 3rd run of the inning. The Athletics are up 4-0, which brings us to the top of the 4th, where the Angels turned this game around. Christian Moore, a sac fly, gets the scoring started. Then Denzer Guzman hits his first home run of the season. A 2-run shot makes it a 1-run game. A couple batters later, it's Jose Siri who connects for a 3-run home run, turning it from 4-3 to 6-4 for the Halo. Zach Neto goes deep as well. Back-to-back bombs. It's 7-4 Angels as they score 7 runs in the 4th. But they're not done there. Top 5 with 2 on. Logan O'Hoppe connects his 4th homer of the season. A 3-run shot makes it 10-4 Angels. And Nolan Shanuel in the 6th, for good measure, hits his 5th homer of the season. It's 11-4 Angels with a 7-run lead. But here come the Athletics. Bottom 6, Zach Geloff, an RBI single. It's now a 6-run lead. Bottom 7th, Jacob Wilson hits a 2-run homer, his 4th of the season. Now it's a 4-run lead. Max Muncy in the bottom of the 8th, he hits a 2-run homer, his 4th of the season, and now it's a 2-run lead. Bottom 9, Jonah Heim, he does it again, his 6th home run of the season. It's a game-tying 2-run shot. The Athletics come back from 11-4 to take an 11-11 tie into extras. And after holding the Angels in the top half, the bases are loaded. Nick Kurtz is up, nowhere to put him except for first base, which is what happens. He walks in the winning run. Lawrence Butler scores. Athletics win it 12-11 in 10. An absolute thriller of a game. Super fun, super exciting. We go into the extra game here. Another game of the weekend, and it is in Kansas City between the Cardinals and the Royals. This is the 3rd and final game of the series. Royals take the first 2, looking for the sweep. But in the top of the 1st, J.J. Weatherholt hits a leadoff home run, his 11th of the season, puts the Cardinals up 1-0, but they are not done there because they continue. Lars Nootbaar picks up an RBI double to make it 2-0, and then Mason Wynn hits his 3rd homer of the season. A 3-run shot has the Cardinals up 5-0 in the 1st inning. But in the bottom half, the Royals get 2 back on a Michael Massey single. It's 5-2 after 1. Top second, J.J. Weatherholt hits another home run, a 2-run shot, his 12th of the season. Cardinals are right back to a 5-run lead before Alec Burleson legs himself an RBI triple. Mason Wynn an RBI single, and after 2 innings for the Cardinals, they scored 9 runs and have a 7-run lead. But don't count your chickens. Nick Lofton in the bottom half of the second, a 2-run homer, his 2nd of the year. Jack Caglione hits his 3rd homer of the series, his 11th on the year. Another 2-run shot as that makes it 9-6. Bottom 4th, Salvador Perez, El Captain, with the RBI single, makes it a 2-run game. However, in the top of the 5th, the Cardinals pick up 3 runs on an Ivan Herrera 3-run shot, his 10th of the season. The Cardinals are back to a 5-run lead. Bottom 6th, Carter Jansen hits his 10th homer of the season. It's a solo shot. It's a 4-run game. We go into the 9th inning. Cardinals looking to win it. Jack Caglione looking for his 4th homer of the series, his 12th of the year, makes it 12-9 after the solo shot. Then Lane Thomas would reach on a fielder's choice as the throw goes home, but Salvador Perez is safe. Michael Massey is at second, so with 2 runners on, the winning run would come to the plate. However, the Cardinals get out of it. They hold on for the win, 12-10 the final. They avoid the sweep. Another 10-plus run game for both teams. You got 12-10, you got 12-11. 2 great games. Those are the games of the weekend here. Let's move into the baseball news and start talking about Bryce Harper, who picks up the 2nd cycle in MLB in the last 5 days. In the last episode, we were talking about how Pete Crow-Armstrong hit for the cycle, did it in reverse order, going home run, triple, double, single. Well, just a mere 5 days after his cycle, Bryce Harper gets a cycle. He goes home run, double, single, triple, and it only took him 5 innings. The last time a player needed only 5 innings to pick up a cycle was Adrian Beltre back in 2015 with Texas. It helps when your team scores 8 runs in the 3rd inning and batted around. I mean, Harper was 3 for 3 in 3 innings. That's how incredible the Phillies were to start that game against the Mets. And what's also incredible was Kyle Schwarber hitting a 456-foot home run and a 457-foot home run in the same inning. In the 3rd inning, he hit 2 home runs, hitting over 900 feet worth of home runs in 1 inning is absolutely insane. Kyle Schwarber is absolutely on a tear. And one thing to note about the Bryce Harper cycle here, because there's been some discourse online as if it was a cycle or not. He was 3 for 3, the home run, the double, the single. He was killing it. He then hits the ball in the 5th inning into the gap in left center field. And out the box, he is hustling. He's thinking 3 as soon as he takes that first step out of the ball. As soon as he connects, he's thinking 3. And the Mets pick up the ball in the outfield. They throw it to the cutoff man. And at this time, when the cutoff man has the ball, Bryce Harper has already rounded second and has not stopped. He is full head of steam heading for 3rd base. If the cutoff man, who I forget exactly who it was at the time, throws to 3rd base, there's a very likely chance that Harper would have been out. It would have just been the RBI double, and that would have been that. Instead, the throw goes home. The runner that was scoring was safe, and at that point, Bryce Harper can easily get to 3rd and stand up with his triple. Now, some people are saying it is a fielder's choice because the fielder chose to throw it home instead of throwing it to 3rd base. And I can understand the argument there. However, for it to have been a fielder's choice, Harper would have needed to stop or at least not have been at 2nd base before the throw was being made. Harper had already passed 2nd base. He had not slowed down his running in the slightest when he was heading to 3rd. And yes, again, the Mets should have and could have gotten it out by throwing it to 3rd. They would have gotten Harper by a couple of steps if they, if it wasn't a wild throw or anything. Harper would have been out, and that would have been the double and advanced to 3rd. So there was a couple instances here where it could have been that double advance to 3rd on a throw, or double reach a third on a fielder's choice. It was ruled a triple, and that caused some people to get upset. But I don't know why you would want that in the first place. Like, no matter who you are, like, this is still cool things for baseball and for baseball history. Like, you should want Harper to have gotten a cycle. It's his first career cycle. It was a very impressive, game for Philly as a whole, with Schwarber hitting 3 homers and the Harper cycle. But at the same time, too, I don't know why you wouldn't want that for Bryce Harper. It was a good thing it was ruled a triple, because guess what? It was a triple. Harper never slowed down. The throw was going home. By the time the fielder released the ball, Harper was already like 2/5 of the way to third base. Like, he was on the attempt for the triple already. You can't say that it was a fielder's choice. So the people saying that, guess what? You're wrong. Bryce Harper, a cycle, second cycle in 5 days. That's very fun. Who's going to hit the next one? Who knows? But that is that news there. Let's talk about Paul Skenes a little bit here, more so the Pittsburgh Pirates, because Paul Skenes got to pitching over the weekend here against Colorado, and yet the Pirates have lost now 7 straight games with Paul Skenes on the mound. Paul Skenes has 5 losses and 2 no decisions in those games. And you got to start wondering, like, okay, Pittsburgh is in a position where they could maybe be fighting for playoffs. They're 8.5 back of the division, which again is not great. They're 4th, behind the Cubs and Cardinals, as well as Milwaukee. But when you eye out that wild card spot, they're only a 1.5 back. They got the win on Sunday to avoid the sweep, and that got them back to 500. They're now 39-39 on this season. And that's with the Pirates within the last 7 Paul Skenes starts. Even if you win 5 of those, that completely changes your season, right now. If they won those 7 games that the Paul Skenes starts, and again, this is Paul Skenes, 2-time Cy Young, like, he is the guy right now in the NL. You win those games, all of a sudden you're not 39-39, you're 46-32. You're second in the NL Central. You're maybe 3 games back of the Brewers, 2 games back of the Brewers, and you're in a playoff position. What's going wrong with the Pirates on these starts? Well, 2 of those 7 starts for Paul Skenes, he gave up 5 earned runs and 4 earned runs, right? Those are games that you lost because Skenes wasn't pitching well. That's fair enough. The other 5 of those starts, though, he had given up 2 or less, meaning 3 of those losses that he has in those 7 games are when he's only given up 1 or 2 earned runs. He hasn't gone more than 6 innings pitched in any of those 7 games. The most, 6 innings was the max he's been. He has not gotten into the 7th inning. So he's been pitching a lot. He hasn't been as sharp, and that's something that I think we can all agree upon. However, I went through those 7 games. I looked at all 7 of those game logs, and I went through and I looked at the at-bats and the hits and all the other numbers that you need to get offensively for the Pirates. In these 7 games they've lost with Paul Skenes on the bump, they are 47 for 231. They have 10 doubles and 7 home runs. They've only scored 19 runs in those 7 games. They have 21 walks and 74 strikeouts. When you look at the numbers, that's a 203 batting average, a 338 slug, and a 608 OPS. The Pirates as a team collectively in these last 7 games with Paul Skenes starting are so bad. It's not even funny. 47 hits across 7 games, across 231 at-bats, and they've only scored 19 runs in those 7 games. That's insane considering, Paul Skenes in 2 of those 7 starts gave up 9 earned runs. That's already almost half of what the Pirates have scored across all 7 games. It's really bad right now. And listen, the Pirates, pitching, they've shown real strides this year. The offense, there's been some players. I mean, Brandon Lau has been a great add for the Pirates. Spencer Horwitz has been sneaky good this year for the Pirates. There's been some, key pieces that have gone right. Brian Reynolds has looked good. You wish O'Neal Cruz could do a little more. But for some reason, they can't do it at the same time. Either Spencer Horwitz is having a nice game, or Reynolds is having a nice game, or O'Hearn's homering. But Like, Ahern hasn't had a great season. Marcelo Zuna hasn't had a great season. So, like, the Pirates offense that, supposedly was supposed to get better. And mind you, they did get better. I mean, if this was the Pirates from last year, they would be way worse. The offense has gotten better, but it's kind of clear to me, and I'm sure other people as well, that it's not enough. I mean, Brandon Lau has 18 home runs. He's been great. O'Neill Cruz with 14 home runs and 822. To be fair, Ryan O'Hearn, 11 home runs, 64 hits, a 786 OPS. That's not as bad as I thought it was doing. Marcelo Zuna, though, 6 home runs, a 592 OPS. He's been tough. Connor Griffin hasn't kind of broke out the way I expected him to, but he still has a 270 batting average and a 730 OPS. But it's more those little pieces now. Henry Davis is taken over at catcher now that Joey Bart got traded. It's him and it's Andy Rodriguez. One of these guys needs to, continue to step up. Davis has not been that guy. So, you start to looking down and like, okay, who's it going to be? Like, who's going to step up really? And I don't know, but like you need some more guys to contribute on a day-to-day basis because right now it's not working. Obviously, you want Skenes to be right and for him to pitch well, but even if he doesn't, like that 4 earned runs, teams can come back from 4 runs. We saw it a lot this weekend, even with some teams coming back. The Blue Jays came back from down 5. You saw the Athletics come back from down 7. You saw the Angels come back from down 4. There's plenty of comebacks that can happen when your team goes down 4 runs in the first inning or second inning or a collection of innings, sure. But the Pirates offense has not done that. I mean, a 608 OPS when Paul Skenes is pitching, in the games that he starts, because obviously when they take him out, I'm still counting those numbers, but still that's tragic. 74 strikeouts to 21 walks. It's an awful walk to strikeout ratio, and a 203 batting average. That's 1 hit every 4 to 5 batters. And in case you realize, or 1 hit every 5 batters, excuse me. I don't know, I said 4 or 5. One hit every 5 batters. In case you realize, you get 3 outs in an inning. So you get a leadoff single. Now you have to have another guy get a hit. But guess what? There's a good chance that's not going to happen. According to these numbers, it doesn't happen. And that's why they've only scored 19 RBIs. And when you think about it, those 19 runs, 19 RBIs, 7 home runs. So take away 7 runs all together, that's 12 runners that have scored, or they've scored without a home run being hit. And that's not even including like if it's a 2-run homer or a 3-run home run. I'm just taking away if it's a solo shot home run, that's 12 runs. If all of those 7 home runs are 2-run shots, that means the Pirates have only scored 5 runs in the last 7 games when Paul Skenes has started. That's not via the home run. Like it's really bad right now. And the Pirates, listen, they're still in a position where they, should, be aggressive and be buyers at the deadline. They could be shooting for a postseason spot right now, but Paul Skenes needs to A, pitch better, and B, and this is the major point here, is that the Pirates offense needs to hit a lot better when Paul Skenes is pitching. And again, the offense has gotten better. There have been games where the Pirates offense looks great, but it needs to happen for Paul Skenes too, not just, the B guys in the rotation. There needs to be a little bit more. So that's where we're sitting at right now for the Pirates. Can they turn it around? Hopefully they can. Let's talk about the Home Run Derby just briefly here before we continue on with the episode, because we had our first official news about it in terms of the players participating, which is Yordan Alvarez says that he wouldn't be in the Home Run Derby. So we still don't have a single person who is 100% going to be in the Derby, but with Yordan Alvarez being the first to say that he is not participating, it made me think, well, who do I want to see in Philly participating in the Home Run Derby? And I was looking at the guys, and I've made my list of the 8 guys that I hope will be in the Derby. So let's go through them together really quickly. First and foremost, of course, with it being in Philly, you need someone from the Phillies. And there is one guy who has mashed all season long, has mashed his whole career, really. Kyle Schwarber has been on an absolute tear. He's up to 29 home runs. I mean, at the rate he's at right now, he's probably going to get to 35 home runs before the All-Star break even happens. And I'm sure Phillies fans, although they get to see it a lot, would be more than happy to see Kyle Schwarber continue to mash during the Home Run Derby. I think he's an easy lock. If not him, it would be Harper, but it's got to be Schwarber, right? So that's my first pick. My second pick, I wanted to think of some of the rookies, some of the young guys. And of course, I landed on the White Sox because they've been a surprisingly fun team. And of course, there's been two rookies who have been mashing the ball, one being Colson Montgomery, the other being Munetaka Murakami. And if Murakami was not hurt, I would love to see him in this draft, or in the Derby. I don't know why I said draft. But because he is, I have gone with Colson Montgomery, who I love just as much. He's probably one of my favorite shortstops in the league right now. He's had a fantastic year. He's got 20 home runs on the season. I think Montgomery is a fantastic choice. And for the White Sox fans to have some love in the Derby. They haven't had that in a long, long time. Moving on here, my third pick is Matt Olson, a guy who's done the Derby before. 20 home runs for Matt Olson on the year. And the time he did the Derby, he definitely didn't do well. But this isn't the Derby of old. This isn't a stamina competition. It is now basically how good can you swing it when you get your pitch. And I think Matt Olson, when he gets his pitch, can swing the ball and hit it a long way. You've got 20 home runs from Olson. And I think with this new format, this new old format, I should say, Matt Olson is a big candidate to, do much better. And I love his swing. Who doesn't love Matt Olson's swing? It's one of the best. So I would love for Matt Olson to be in this Derby. I want to go a little unconventional with this next pick. I went with Zach Neto. He's been really good for the Angels this year. He's got 17 home runs. And when you look at his build as a player and you look at some of these other guys that are on this list and their builds, he is definitely one that stands out. He's much smaller, not as I won't say strong, but he's not as built as some of these other guys. Yet he's got 17 home runs on the season. He's been great. And again, with the new format here, this isn't a, hey, get into your stance, boom, get into your stance, boom. Because Zach Neto's got a big stance, a little wild stance. It would definitely take a lot of energy out of him. But if he's taking his time, if he's going with his swings, I think Zach Neto is a fantastic choice to represent a Angels team in the home run derby. And I think it'd be fun to have a guy that's not really your typical home run masher. He's got a nice right-handed swing as well. So Zach Neto, good choice there. As we mentioned, the Pirates and Brandon Lau. I think Brandon Lau's got 18 home runs on the year. He's one of my favorite left-handed hitters. I love his swing. He's been great for Pittsburgh all season long. I think he should be added. I like a little Ian Happ, a little switch hitter action for the Cubs. Number 16 home runs on the season so far. He's been great. I think he's another great addition to this draft. And then when you think about, Murakami and, what he can represent in the home run derby and Colson Montgomery, when you think about it, there's a player who, if you take Murakami and add Montgomery, both of the M's very confusing. There's one guy that kind of equals out both of them, and that's Kazuma Okamoto. You get the rookiness of Colson Montgomery, you get the Western or the Eastern culture of Murakami, and you mix it up with Kazuma Okamoto here. The Blue Jays got 16 home runs out of Kaz so far this season. His swing has very nice, and it's not like he's just getting a bunch of wall-scraping home runs. Some of his home runs have been huge, going 440, 450. So Okamoto is another great option here. And to round out my list for my home run derby, you of course need a bigger bopper, of course, with no Judge. Shohei's always in the mix of things. I decided to go with Junior Caminero. He's definitely had a nice year, struggling in terms of the power, but 15 home runs is still nothing to scoff about here. But him being the one that's the lowest amount of home runs on this list so far is kind of funny. You got Schwarber, who's nearly doubled what Caminero has. But Junior Caminero, we remember him in the World Baseball Classic. He is just an absolute personality, a great guy to watch. He sends the balls a long way as well. So he is my 8th and final pick. So Schwarber, Colson Montgomery, Matt Olson, Zach Neto, Brandon Lau, Ian Happ, Kazuma Okamoto, and Junior Caminero would be the 8 guys I would love to see in this year's home run derby here. So that is that. Now let's continue on and talk into the episode. We've got our hot and colds from the week. And of course, we've talked about Kyle Schwarber a lot, but he has been hot. 7 for 19, 5 home runs, 10 RBIs, 9 runs, a 1.613 OPS. Carter Jensen, 9 for 16 with 3 doubles, 2 homers, 3 RBIs, 6 runs, a 1.757 OPS. You've got Pete Pete Crow-Armstrong, who is 7 for 16, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, 4 runs, 4 walks, a 1.550 OPS. Brian Reynolds, 10 for 20, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 9 RBIs, 6 runs, a 1.550 OPS. Wyatt Langford, 10 for 20, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 8 RBIs, 4 runs, a 1.595 OPS, and some love as well for Travis Bazana, 6th guy here because we'll sneak him in. 9 for 21, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, 6 runs, 4 walks, a 1.472 OPS. That game he had in Houston this weekend. Oh my God. For the cold players, Matt Chapman, the only one that was hitless, 0 for 19 with 8 strikeouts. You got Drake Baldwin, 2 for 22 with 11 strikeouts. Jock Peterson, 1 for 19 with 7 strikeouts. Wilson Contreras, 2 for 22 with 12 strikeouts. And Daniel Schneemann, 1 for 18 with 10 strikeouts. Lots of strikeouts between these bottom 5 here. Some of the cold players from the week here, as we'll now look at our injury updates for the weekend here. You've got Adolis Garcia, who is now out for this season. He's getting surgery on his right lat, and he will miss the remaining of the Phillies season. Adley Rutschman for Baltimore will land himself on the 7-day concussion IL. Liam Hicks for the Marlins, 10-day IL, a strained lower back. Blake Trinan on the 15-day IL with elbow inflammation. Jordan Lawler on the 10-day IL with a strained hamstring. And Michael Soroka on the 15-day IL with a strained glute. So not a major list of players, a couple guys, which is good. But of course, hopefully these guys can get some speedy recoveries and get back to playing baseball. The outstanding performances of the weekend, a smaller list than usual. It starts with Gage Jump from the Athletics. 7 innings, only 1 hit, no runs, 3 walks, and 7 Ks. Nobody struck out more batters than Cam Schlittler this weekend. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, and 13 strikeouts. Big Schlitt. Ranger Suarez goes 6 2/3 with only a hit, no runs, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. Kyle Freeland, 7 1/3, got into the 8th inning there, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, while striking out 8, one of his better starts in recent memory. Joey Cantillo from the Guardians goes 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and struck out 9. You've got Kennelly Early from Boston going 6 innings, 2 hits, only 1 run, 2 walks, and 7 Ks. Trevor Rogers was brilliant against the Dodgers, going 7 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. And lastly, Logan Gilbert, 6 1/3, 3 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, and 8 strikeouts. Those are your outstanding performances, which now brings us to our standings check to see how everything has changed this week. And I'll tell you what, the only thing that's changed between last week and this week was that the Nats were in 3rd and the Marlins were in 4th. Now the Marlins are in 3rd and the Nats are in 4th. Everything else has stayed the same. The Yankees are still in 1st with the Rays on their tail. The Guardians are in 1st with the White Sox on their tail. Mariners are in 1st with the Athletics on their tail. Braves, Brewers, and Dodgers still lead their divisions. Everything as is. Yankees, Rays, Jays, Baltimore, Boston. Guardians, White Sox, Twins, Tigers, Royals. Mariners, Athletics, Rangers, Astros, Angels. Brewers, Cardinals, Cubs, Pirates, Reds, Dodgers, Padres, Diamondbacks, Giants, Rockies. The only difference was in that NL East. Braves, Phillies, Marlins, Nats now is the case. Then Mets are in last. Last week it was Nats, then Marlins. But even though technically they're tied. Marlins are 40 and 38. Nats are 40 and 38. However, the Marlins just have it for now. They're on a 4-game winning streak. They've been slightly better, but still absolutely crazy stuff here. Of these 30 teams, 12 of them are 40-win teams. You have 4 from the AL. That includes the Yankees, the Rays, the Guardians, and the Mariners. The other 8 40-win teams come from the NL East. Not from the NL East. From the NL. Specifically, though, from the NL East, you have 4 teams that have done it. So the entire AL, there's only 4 40-win teams. the NL East has 4 40-win teams: the Braves, the Phillies, the Marlins, and the Nationals. Join them in the NL as well, you have the Brewers, Cardinals, and Cubs from the Central, and then the Dodgers from the NL West. But to be fair, the Pirates, Diamondbacks, and Padres are all at 39 wins. So if they all win their next game, you would have half of the league with 40 or more wins, and 11 of them would be from the NL. That is absolutely insane. But to be fair, the White Sox are at 39 wins, so they're close to 40 as well. Twins at 38 wins, Blue Jays at 38 wins, Athletics at 38 wins as well. So that's how that stands there. The Dodgers at 49, still the best team in baseball. They are 1 win away from becoming the first team to 50. And yeah, this is basically the halfway point of the season. Right now, you look at all the games played. Some teams have played as low as 75 games, while some teams have played as low as 81 games, or sorry, as high as 81 games. So some teams are playing their 82nd and the halfway point of the season games really quickly, like this week, while others still have like a week to go before they reach the 82 game mark. And yeah, when you look at the AL still, that 6th team in the AL, which is right now the Toronto Blue Jays, is still below 500. That 3rd wild card seed is below 500 as it stands. The Blue Jays are 38 and 39, looking to win today to get back to 500. When you look at the NL, you have the Padres, you have the Marlins, you have the Nationals, you have the D-backs, and you have the Pirates. You have 5 teams in the NL who, if they were in the AL, they would have that playoff spot over the Blue Jays. 5 teams that have a 500 or better record that are not in the postseason. The only 4 teams in the NL that do not have a 500 record: Cincinnati Reds, they're 37-39. The New York Mets are 34 and 43. The Giants are 31 and 46, and the Rockies are 30 and 48. So yeah, AL very bad this year. NL very good this year. Nice change of pace. But yeah, that is your standings check here, which brings us to the upcoming series for the weekend here. Not for the weekend, for the week. The upcoming series for the week. And as it stands, you've got the Astros in Toronto to take on the Blue Jays. The Royals are in the Trop taking on the Rays. Yankees at Comerica to take on the Tigers. Dodgers at Target Field to take on the Twins. The Guardians and the White Sox face off. The difference between them in the division is a single game. The Guardians 41 and 37, the White Sox 39 and 37, 1 game back of the Guardians. That is a series to watch for sure. The Baltimore Oilers are taking on the Angels. You've got Rangers at Marlins, Phillies at Nationals, Cubs at Mets, Brewers at Reds. The Mariners are in PNC to take on the Pirates. The D-backs are at the Cardinals. Nolan Arenado returns to St. Louis for the first time since being traded. You've got the Braves at the Padres, A's at Giants, and it rounds off with the Red Sox in Colorado to take on the Rockies. That could be a big turning point for Colorado's season, for Boston's season, if they can't win that series. That is your episode here today, ladies and gentlemen, from the middle of the order, episode 324 in the books. We are getting towards the end of June here. And again, you're about 5-6 weeks away from the trade deadline. The All-Star break's on the rise. We're basically halfway into the season. And, some teams, it's time to turn it on now. If you're a team like the Blue Jays, a team like the Tigers, a team like the Astros or the Rangers, if you're hunting down, if you're a team like the Pirates or the team like the Diamondbacks, you're in the mix, you're in the hunt, but you gotta go now. The Tigers specifically, they're way out right now, but they've got Tarek Skubal. What's the plan there? There's still a lot to be decided for your favorite team. Some teams are in their biggest stretch of the season going, the next 10 games. 10 games could be the difference between if you're a seller or a buyer at the deadline. Who knows? But that's as it stands right now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you everybody so much. And I will see you on Friday.